Hi, and welcome to another Excel demo with Rich Kerr. In this scenario, I want to tally up my home expenses, my monthly expenses, with a simple sum formula. So I'm going to put the word total here, and I'm going to use my Alt equals keyboard shortcut to just quickly drop in a sum formula to take care of summing up that data. So now I've got my total in this cell. But let's add a little twist here. I'm thinking about getting a car, and so I've put together another sheet that calculates my monthly payment based on the car price and the interest rate and things like that. And if you want some more information on how to do that, the PMT function and the ABS function, I've got videos on those as well, so please check those out. So I've got my formula here showing what the payment is based on these inputs. But I want to see how this number affects the overall home expenses. So I'm going to create another entry here. I'm going to say total plus car. Okay. And I'm going to write a formula starting with equals, and I'll select the total I already have, plus, and then I'm going to switch over to the sheet with the car loan and select cell B8 from that sheet, right? So I'm selecting another cell from another sheet, and so if we go back into the formula, we can see what happened was it was B8 on this sheet plus B8 on the other sheet, right? And it could have been any cell, right? It just so happened it was also B8. But the thing to note here is that I had to preface the cell's address with the name of the sheet. And it did that for me just by me going over to the sheet and clicking on it. Now you notice I have an underscore between car and loan. I did that on purpose because if your sheet name has a space in it, which you can do, then in your formula you have to have single quotes around the sheet name. Now, if you did it the way that I did it by simply clicking on the sheet and selecting the cell, maybe it's not such a big deal. But if you're somebody who likes to just go straight from the keyboard, then that's a little bit of a nuisance to have to go single quote car loan, single quote exclamation point B8, right? So that's something that you have to do if you're going to write that syntax manually. Whereas if there is no space, if it's car underscore loan or just car loan like that, then the formula does not require single quotes around the sheet name. I'm going to add one more twist to this. Let's say I'm working on the car loan, but I want to keep tabs on how the changes in the car payment might affect my overall total payment, which is currently $45.94 for my monthly expenses. So while I'm here maybe negotiating a different price or a different interest rate, and I'm going to get different results, right? Let's say I go for a cheaper car that's only 32K. Of course, that has an impact on my loan payment. I don't want to have to keep switching back to the home expenses sheet to see the change here. There are a couple of ways that you could keep that visible while you're on the car loan sheet, and I'm going to show you what one of those ways is right now. If you go to the formulas tab of your ribbon, you'll notice an icon called watch window. The watch window sort of lets you keep a visual on a cell that's on a separate sheet from the one you're currently working on. So I'm here on the home expenses sheet. I'll click watch window, and in the resulting pop-up there's a button that says add watch. So I'm going to click that and make sure I've selected cell B10 on this sheet. And I was on that one already, but if I wasn't, I could just click it. So I want to watch B10 on the sheet called home expenses, and I'll just simply click add. Now what happens is the information about that cell gets stored in the watch window. The workbook that it's on, the sheet that it comes from. If I had given that cell a name, we'd see that here too, but I didn't name the cell. Check out my video on named ranges if you want more info on that. The cell's address is B10, the value is 4433.98, and this is the formula producing said value. Well, how does this help me? Well, the watch window will stay up even when I switch to another sheet. So now when I'm back on my car loan sheet and I say, you know what, I think I want to go for the turbo with the V8 and the the souped up interior with all the gadgets, all the toys. So this is going to be 45K. When I change that, that of course changes this value, but in the watch window, I can see that that cell on the other sheet has now changed to 481347. Think of the watch window as a way to sort of look around the corner at another sheet in your workbook and see what's going on. And I can see that it was impacted by the change that I made here. Now your watch window will continue to watch that cell. If I close it, I can always just bring the watch window back up and we'll see that value. You can also add multiple watches, right? You can add other cells to the watch window if you had a reason to, and they'll just continue to stack up in this window. If I don't need to see a value in my watch window any longer, I simply click the cell that's referenced and choose, or I click the entry in the watch window and choose delete watch. You can also dock the watch window on the side. You can dock it under your ribbon so it kind of snaps into place up there, and you can adjust its size. So, or just leave it as a floating palette. Or what I tend to do is just close it until I need it again, and then I go back to watch window. So that's one way I can keep tabs on a cell from another sheet while working on one that's separate, but in this case related, and I wanted to see the impact of my changes here on that previous sheet called home expenses. I hope you found it useful. Please come back soon for more Excel demos with Rich Kerr. Have a productive day. Peace.